Hey everyone, it's MusicTechHelpGuy, and today I've got just another sort of off-the-cuff sound design, sound effects, soundscape video for you today. One of my favorite things to do when I'm looking for sort of like a creepy ambient background sound effect that you can also control as a playable instrument is to work with strings. I love taking like cello and adding distortion to it, adding ambience to it, adding pitch bend and other pitch bend effects to it. I love doing that. So in this video, I'll show you how you can take really any audio sample and turn it into a playable instrument that has a few different notes that you can trigger and turn it into sort of like a creepy background soundscape. Now, technically, this will work with any audio file, and every single audio file or every recording you use is going to sound a little bit different. But like I said, I really love the sound of strings. So I've got a recording of a Bach, the second cello suite from Bach, the first movement. So I'm going to pull that in. It's important to remember the key of the tune as well if you're going to try to layer this into something else. But here's what this sounds like just from the beginning. Now, I'm just going to start with that opening phrase, and really all I'm going to do is I'm going to find all of the long notes. So here and here. Right here. Right there. And then this last note. So I've got 6 notes. I'm just going to pull each of these out independently, separately, just so I can make sure that I don't have any extra little tidbits of other notes in there. I'm just going to trim this last one up a bit, and then this one I'm going to trim up the front end just a touch. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I got these 6 samples. You could make more if you wanted. You could cut more pieces out and have more different soundscape elements to work with. But I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm going to right-click on these, go down to Convert, and choose the option Convert to New Sampler Track. Or you can just press Control-E. Now, this may automatically be on the transient markers option here. You want to put this on regions because we've already split this up. And if I'm sure someone's going to ask, what if you just want to chop things up and slice them up by transients? Yes, you can use transient markers instead. The problem with that option is that if you're working with material that isn't inherently percussive, like our cello here, it's not going to properly slice up the recording into multiple samples. So that's why the regions option is there, so you can create different sample zones from pre-cut regions like I just did. I'm going to turn off this one-shot zone option, and I'll just give this a name. I'll just call this Cello Soundscape 2. I already made one for demonstration, so now this is number 2. And then you can set a trigger note range. These are the notes where you want these samples to start playing. It's where you want these to be mapped. So I'm going to choose C2 as my starting note. Click OK. And what this does is it creates an EXS24 sampler instrument out of those 6 samples. So I'll just mute this guy here and hide the original track. I don't need that MIDI region there. And let's see what this sounds like. So C2 should trigger the first sample. Then C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and F. And that's it, because there's only 6 notes. Now, what I like to do is go into the EXS24, go into the edit window, and play around with the pitch of these. Like, for instance, this top note here. It's like a resolving note on D. The first note D and the last note D. They're the same note. So there's several different ways to play with the pitch of these. One, you could just drag the sample zone down an octave. So right now this is on F. Even though that's not the note F, that's just the trigger key for it. You could pull it down to F. And the reason why it detunes is because this pitch option is on for all of the samples. So if you move samples up or down, they'll follow the pitch. So if I wanted one of these to go up an octave, I could do the same thing. So if I wanted this one to go up an octave, maybe I'll pull this one up an octave as well. The other way you can go about this is you can select a sample and you can detune it here. So you can detune them in coarse or fine tuning. Coarse tuning is up or down in semitones, and then fine tuning is up or down in cents. So you could correct the tuning of some of these if your sample's a little sharp or a little flat. You could also do that. Now, lastly, what I like to do is go up to View here and go down to Zone Loop. And the reason why I want that is I want these samples to last indefinitely. So I'm going to select all, Command A, turn on loop here. And one thing that's tricky about this, it depends on what version of Logic you're working in, but in some versions, the EXS24 automatically loops them with an appropriate loop range. For some reason in this version, at least in my version, the start and end point are exactly the same. So you'll notice that the samples won't loop. You have to press the key again. So what I did was I just pulled up the end point a bit, like quite a bit. It also helps to add a bit of a crossfade between the loop points at the end and beginning of the loop range to smooth out any clicks or pops in the signal. The next thing I'm going to do is add some reverb. My favorite reverb for Soundscapes is Valhalla Shimmer. I love this reverb. It's probably my favorite reverb ever, but it's not something you're going to use on everything. It's just a really cool reverb for creating soundscapes, and it's only $50. So I'm going to pull the mix up to 100%. Let's see what this sounds like. So yeah, because these are so broken up, I'm having a little trouble playing them all with one hand. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these top two. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the pitch on all of them off. So just select all, turn the pitch option off. These top two, I'm going to pull down here, and I'm just going to use all white keys. And I'll pull these up to start on D, and I'll pull that bottom note to start on C. So now they're all going to be their original pitch, but remember the very first one I wanted it to be down an octave. So I'll tune it down here. So I'll type in -12, and then these top two, I'll pull these up 12 semitones. Just like so. So now I can play all 6 of these just with all white keys with a single hand. One of these is up on F sharp. Let's pull that down. Yeah, much better. Let's close that out. One last thing I'm going to do in the EXS24 is I'm still getting a little bit of a pop or a click on the front end. I'm going to pull the attack time up in the synthesizer window for the EXS24 just a touch. I'll go ahead and pull up the release time a touch too, just to soften the front and end of each note that I play. Now, another thing you can play around with if you want it to be even creepier sounding is you can play around with the pitch bend in the EXS24. By default, this is set to 2 semitones, so that means that the pitch bend moves up and down by 2 half steps. So you can certainly create some cool sounds like that, You could even set this to an octave, so the pitch bend moves up and down a full octave. For really creepy sound effects, I really like to put this just on a half step. So I can bend up by a half step or down a half step and everything in between as well. So I can make a note just barely be out of tune from where it should be for some added tension. So I've got just a simple sort of ambient idea here with piano, some basic drums, and bass. So let me go ahead and record my soundscape here, and let's see what I can come up with. Yeah, it's a bit more difficult when you're trying to match this up with something that's more tonal and more musical. The other thing you have to keep in mind is the key of the original sample and the original recording. I knew it was D minor because that's the name of the cello suite. It's cello suite number 2 in D minor. A lot of situations you may not know what the key is, so you'd have to go through and plunk out some notes on the piano and figure out the key of each of the samples to match it up to another musical example. So this probably works better for just sort of ambient sound effects, soundscapes, and sort of just soundscape effects beds for films and things like that. Probably not super practical as a playable instrument, but the more notes you sample, the more playable it'll become. Here I only had 6 notes to work with. If I had done 10 or 12 or 20, I might have an easier time because I have more notes to pick from. But again, the thing that's tricky is those notes are not necessarily going to be on the correct keys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like these sort of random soundscape and sound design videos. If you do, leave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. As always, thanks for the support and thanks for watching.